Hello again, Chef Bob here from Coral Glades High School, and this is the second video of my, is it a three-part series, actually almost a four-part series, on Mexican food, okay? This week I spent the week going over with my students, about how the history, the culture, the religion, the geography of countries impact their food. And as I tell my students, food is history. Food is memories, but it also is history. So this week we talked about the food of Mexico. And some of the biggest impacts, impacts on Mexican food, obviously as far as cultural, Aztec, Maya, Spanish, and Inca. But also, since Spain, I was telling my students, for 500 years was occupied by an Arab caliphate. There are very, very, very deep Arab influences in Spanish cuisine. The use of cinnamon, the use of cumin, the use of raisins, the use of almonds, and that all got transported to Mexico. And of course, indigenous crops of Mexico, such as peppers, tomatoes, corn, these were all potatoes. These were all crops that didn't exist in Italy, but in Europe until the Italian Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas. Today what we're going to be doing is, my wife and I, we go to Mexico often, and we were in a little village, a little town of Tulum, which is in the Yucatan Peninsula. And we stop at a restaurant that sold itself as vegan vegetarian. And one of the appetizers there was something called Sikil Pak, S-I-K-I-L, and then the next word is P-A-K, very Mayan. And I asked the owner chef, I said, what is this? And he said, it's a pumpkin seed dip. And he was very nice enough to give me the recipe. So I'm gonna share it with you. So, Sikil Pak. What do we need for Sikil Pak? We need, obviously, pumpkin seeds, okay? We need roasted vegetables. Now, the vegetables we need, and I roasted these earlier. I have something here that I forgot that we also need, and that is a little bit of garlic. Not a lot. So this is a regular roasted red pepper, mild. This is an ancho pepper, which we roasted on an open fire. These are tomatoes. These are tomatillos. These are cubanelle peppers. These are onions, okay? Now, to this, I'm gonna add a little bit of raw onion. So I've got a little bit of raw onion over here. So we got the roasted onion and we've got the raw onion, right? So my Z knife, I love this knife. I'm going to just take a little bit, not a lot, okay? Put this back for the continuation of our recipes we're doing chilaquiles next. Now, I've got a food processor over here, and I just washed it. So we're gonna put everything in here. So here we go with the ancho pepper roasted, the regular pepper roasted, one small clove of garlic, or more, it's up to you if you like it. A little bit of roasted onion, this is about an eighth of a roasted onion, and a raw onion, roasted tomatoes, a roasted jalapeno. I'm putting only half in because the ancho pepper is hot too, and half of a roasted cubanelle pepper, also a little hot, okay? Now, to that, I'm also gonna add some raw tomatoes. Now, let me wash this. That way you get both levels, nuances of flavor. You got the raw and you've got the cooked, right? So. And I'm gonna put this in the processor also, okay? And to that, we are going to add a little bit of, I use Badia adobo seasoning. Use salt, use chili, garlic, salt, whatever you want. I'm just gonna put a little bit. And then later, remember, it's always better to put too little than too much, because then if you put too much, then you messed it up, right? I'm gonna add, these are roasted pumpkin seeds. I'm gonna add a little bit of really good coconut oil. This is unfiltered. This is just raw coconut oil. My wife is from Belize, so whenever we go to Belize, I always order the coconut oil, the Village coconut oil, where who's the lady who makes it, Cruz?
I don't remember.
Mrs. The lady who has the hardware store or the store in Moscow. Okay, okay, she's getting mad at me. At any rate, you order it 2 days ahead of time, and then they actually grate the coconut and they make it from scratch. So this is what it looks like, and I wish I could share the smell with you. It's so I'm going to put about a tablespoon of coconut oil. Okay, and I'm going to start off with the juice of half of a lime, and then taste it later and see how it tastes. Now, this is a lime press. Unfortunately, the lime is a little too big for the press. Okay, and here we go. Juice of half a lime. I'm going to put 3 grinds of black pepper and some cleaned cilantro, stems and leaves, it doesn't matter. Put that inside there, and we're going to pulse this. Now, how you want this is completely up to you. If you want it smooth, process it until it's smooth. If you want it chunky, pulse it. I like it chunky, so we're going to pulse it. Did I really do that? Bear with me. I did this without the blade. I forgot to put the blade in it. Okay, it happens, but that's okay. Let's try it now. Now, I'm looking at it and it looks just right. I'm going to scrape down the sides. I'm going to process it a little longer because it's too chunky for my taste. Okay. Now, if it's too dry, you can add some water. If you have it, add a little bit of coconut water. That gives it a nice flavor, but regular water will do. Okay, it's getting there. I'm going to give it a scrape down the sides again. I'm going to give it a couple more pulses. And this should be done. This is ready. So let me show it to you. This is Sikil pak. Now I'm going to put this in a bowl. See, it's creamy. And I'm going to put some inside here because I want to taste it. The rest I'm going to put in here. And this will keep in the refrigerator for a week, maybe even more. I wouldn't do it more than a week because that's actually health department standards, okay? So a week. There's your Sikil pak. Now, if you want it a little spicy, add some spice to it. This is the earlier roasted habanero pepper salsa that we made earlier. This stuff you got to treat with respect because it will burn the heck out of you. But I mean, we've got from Belize Mary Sharp's smoky habanero sauce that you can add to it, or hey, the old standby Tabasco, you can never go wrong, or just eat it as is. Okay, so I'm going to take a little taste and see what this tastes like. Oh my God. That is so good. I mean, this brings pumpkin seeds to a whole different level. At any rate, that is part 2. Our next video, we're going to be doing chilaquiles, and I will show you how to make a tomatillo salsa, fresh tomatillo salsa to go on the chilaquiles. Folks, Sikil Pak, Maya Dip, Chef Bob, goodbye.